Welcome to Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. August is upon us, the last full month of summer, a time when vacations start to wind down, a time for back-to-school sales and such. But throughout August, until the very end of the month, there are great special events taking place all over Portsmouth that you won't want to miss. We'll tell you about some of them right here and right now on this episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to Portsmouth Now, and a look at events taking place throughout the month of August 2014. Hampton Roads is one of the top vacation destinations in the U.S. because, besides beaches and theme parks, the area is the nation's birthplace. Portsmouth has the distinction of being one of Virginia's oldest cities, and there's no better way to discover its rich history than going on an Old Town Living History Tour with Colonel William Crawford. Well, if you take the Living History walking tour of Old Town, you'll be led on it by Colonel Crawford, who is here with us today and looking pretty good for being how many hundreds years old?
Oh, good Lord, let's see, I was born in 1690, so that would make me 324 years old today.
And for the last, how many years have you been coming back here to give tours of Portsmouth?
You know, I have been doing tours of Portsmouth actually since 2002, so this is my 12th year of doing tours of Old Town here. I was figuring it up, I've done a couple of thousand miles.
Oh my gosh. Well, now the tours are on Friday night this summer, right?
The Living History Tour with Colonel Crawford is Friday night, and we also have a Tuesday, Thursday tour, but we'll hear about that in just a moment, as a Civil War tour. My tours are going to be on Friday. They are 7:30. They leave from the Renaissance Hotel,
which is actually
just right behind us over here, because this is right in the thick of it all. I mean, literally, the Old Town, my Old Town, the 64 acres that I carved off of the 1,700-acre plantation is right in front of the Renaissance Hotel. And when we have folks that are coming in from out of town, even just as close to Virginia Beach or Franklin or something like that, sometimes when they arrive here, they need to powder their wig, if you know what I mean. And fortunately, the Renaissance does have a powder room.
For men and women.
They do.
Separately,
yeah. Oh,
yes.
Of course, my goodness.
And so you come out and you begin the tours here at the Lafayette Arch?
You know, we do. We are right here at this plot of land. The wooden arch that used to be the Marquis de Lafayette was on High Street when it was first put in. He is a true American hero, and he comes up in all of our tours because he started working with the Americans in 1776 when he was still a teenager. He was 19 years old.
I had no idea he was that.
And he funded
himself,
yeah, out of his own money. He funded himself, and it wasn't until later on in the war, when it looked like the colonials would win, that the French went right on into the fray and joined the war. But this arch, if you notice up there, we've got a couple of lions' heads on it. They were not part of the original design that we had, but for me, they're absolutely perfect because I actually was a loyalist. I was loyal to the King of England, as many were. I had passed away long before the Revolutionary War even came about. But because I was a loyalist, Old Town was never burned. So we've still got homes dating back to the 1740s, 1734, right here in Old Town that have been there since they were first built.
And if people come on your tours on Friday evenings, they'll learn all about those homes.
Oh, they will. They'll learn about the homes, they'll learn about the history, the architecture, and a few little tidbits of just fun things, you know, where we got the expression putting on the dog, or don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and things like that. Interesting stories, to say the least.
Well, great. Well, the people should come out on Friday evenings if they want to do this.
Friday evening, and this is through November. Every Friday through November, the Old Town Living History Tour. And I believe we're going to have a Civil War fellow come up in just a second.
Right.
And he's going to let you know all about the Civil War tours that are happening, because Portsmouth, everyone wanted to control. That's why we're so important. We're controlled by the British during the Revolution. We're controlled by the Union during the Civil War. And that's because everyone wants the oldest and the largest shipyard in America. And it still is today.
As well. Thanks for joining us. And,
Thank you, sir.
I will go talk to your Civil War companion here.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you. Hello. I understand that you were working with Colonel Crawford.
Indeed I am, sir.
And what is your name?
I am Lieutenant Absalom Dial of the 85th Pennsylvania Volunteer Infantry, at your service.
Yeah, okay. So how is it that you, a Union soldier, is here in Portsmouth, which was in Virginia, heart of the Confederacy?
Well, although this is a Virginia town, Portsmouth was under Union occupation for most of the war. The Confederates actually only held the city for about 13 months before we came back in.
That's not very long.
No.
So when you're doing Civil War tours of Old Town,
yes.
So what types of things will people see if they come on your tour?
Well, there are a number of buildings and monuments that have a very strong connection to the late Unpleasantness, including this stone directly behind us. Those of you who've been to Portsmouth before have probably seen the Confederate monument, beautiful obelisk, monumental statues all around it. Well, we have a monument to our veterans too. It's yay tall, and we have to share it with 4 other wars.
And these are Union soldiers?
These are United States soldiers and sailors who won the Medal of Honor between the Civil War and the Korean conflict.
Okay. And there were also some African-American soldiers?
Yes, there are
Civil War African-American veterans?
Yes, quite a few African-Americans from this area joined the Union Army, including Private Charles Veal of the 4th United States Colored Troops, who won the Medal of Honor at Freeman's Farm. There are 2 Union veterans listed on this monument, one from the Army, one from the Navy, one black, one white.
All right.
There was actually a great deal of Unionist sentiment in the area, both among whites and blacks. And on the tour, we'll talk about the way opinion in Portsmouth was divided, both between ethnic groups and within them.
Okay, great. So that sounds really interesting. Now, people are interested in coming on the Civil War tour. When are they held?
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30, starting at the Renaissance Hotel.
All right, well, great. And
Mr. Lau, excuse me just one moment, flipping back a century or two. You know, I just wanted to remind everyone that the Civil War tours or the Old Town tour, you can actually get any time of the year. If you call the Portsmouth Visitor Center 3935111, they will get you our personal phone numbers. You can call us and you can design your very own tour.
Sounds like a very enlightening way to spend the evening. So thank you, Colonel Crawford.
And because duty does sometimes call me out of the city, the Army sends me where it wishes. There will be times when Colonel Crawford and I will be covering for each other's tours.
All right. But there is tours all year round.
All
Indeed.
year round.
All right.
The scheduled tours through November. Outside of that, you can schedule a tour anytime you'd like, day or night.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me and telling us all about it.
Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure.
Civil War tours of Old Town are offered every Tuesday and Thursday in August at 7:30 p.m. Old Town Living History tours with Colonel William Crawford are offered every Friday at 7:30 p.m. To find out more about either one, visit www.colonelcrawford.com. And if you'd like to visit one of Portsmouth's oldest historic homes, tours of the Hill House Museum at 221 North Street in Old Town are available every Wednesday from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Special tours can also be arranged. For more information, call 757-393-0241. Portsmouth also has historic ties to the Coast Guard. In fact, Portsmouth has been officially designated as a Coast Guard city, one of the handful of cities to be given this honor. This August also marks the 224th birthday of the Coast Guards. To mark the occasion, Portsmouth Museums is sponsoring a big birthday celebration that's free to the public. I'm joined by Corey Thornton, who is the Curator of History for the Portsmouth Museums. Thanks for joining us again, Corey.
Thank you, Rob.
So now, what is going on for the Coast Guard birthday in the month of August?
Well, our program is called Happy Birthday Coast Guard. It takes place at the Naval Shipyard Museum and the Lightship Portsmouth here. And we celebrate the history of the Coast Guard. Of course, Portsmouth's own history goes back to the turn of the century. And so what we do is just celebrate the history of the Coast Guard, especially how it affected the area here. And this year's its 224th birthday, actually.
Wow.
So, it's an exciting year.
So how long is, Portsmouth is an official Coast Guard city?
Yes, it was nominated the 9th official Coast Guard city in 2010.
It's 9th in the country?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Yeah. So now what types of things will people be able to do at the Coast Guard celebration here?
Well, as I always say, Rob, what can't they do at the history museums? We always have all type of activities, all very much on this particular program and others, Coast Guard themed, talk about the heritage of it. There's coloring activities, interactive activities. As always, we have living history that'll be happening at both museums, guided tours of the ship here, and a little bit of music here and there too.
A little bit. Will you be singing?
Probably not.
Okay. So now, how popular is the lightship Portsmouth? Again, I think this is like the one overlooked museum. I don't think a lot of people realize this is actually a museum.
It is, I wouldn't call it a, quote, hidden gem, but it is definitely a gem that not a lot of folks are aware of when they come. So it's my job and the job of my staff and everyone in the museums, and not just the job, the pleasure of letting them know about what the lightship service was all about. Our lightship was built in 1915, first commissioned in 1916, was on station for 48 years, from 1916 to 1964. A lot of folks don't know what lightships are all about.
No.
So we tell them, think of it as a floating lighthouse. And they're no longer on station, but they, for the longest period of time, they were movable lighthouses.
And would the crew stay on these for a matter of days, weeks, months? I mean, what was life like on one?
It did vary over time as far as how long they stayed on. However, it's kind of hard to romanticize life aboard the vessel, having talked to former Coast Guard sailors who were stationed aboard lightships. But overall, they recognized too, it may have been a little boring at times, just kind of sitting there. At least a Coast Guard ship is going somewhere.
Yeah.
And they always say that. But at least you knew you were serving a purpose. You were serving as an aids to navigation, and that was one of the most important things for our coasts that we could have had.
Okay, so they can come out to the event, they can learn about the Coast Guard, all the activities toward the lightship. Now, what is the date for this, and what
the
are the
date
times?
is Saturday, August 2nd, 2014, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And it's absolutely free to the public.
Absolutely.
When we return to Portsmouth Now, we'll continue our look at special events taking place throughout the month of August. So stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year, 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Now, and a look at events and activities taking place this August. Last summer saw the opening of Portsmouth's newest park, Paradise Creek. This summer, the park offers special events and activities, which continue throughout August. I'm joined now by Sarah Samosky, who is an education ranger from the Elizabeth River Project, and she's here to tell us about some of the things that are taking place at Paradise Creek. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, education ranger, that sounds like a pretty cool title.
It is, yeah. It's kind of a spin-off of an urban ranger, but I don't do any law enforcement at the park. I just do education programs. So, education ranger kind of takes the law enforcement out of the mix and just allows me to interact with the public on a more educational level.
Okay, so you've been with Paradise Creek for how long?
I've been here since October of 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 9 months.
So, in the heat of summer now, so what's going on this month in August?
The park is awesome. It's blooming, it's full of wildflowers, it's full of life. There's a lot of birds out there, and we are doing education programs as well. So a lot of really fun, family-friendly, kid-friendly, adult-friendly activities going on at the park.
Yeah, there's something called a mini safari?
There are, yeah. We have, they're kind of self-guided tours. So you come to the park during our designated date and hour, and we kind of load you up with really fun gear and field guides and things. So you can go into the park and explore and sort of search for all of these fun species that we know are there. And we sort of train you to use the binoculars and the magnifying lenses on your own. So you get that good experience of learning how to use this equipment and then going out into the park and trying to find everything that we already know is there and maybe some things that you can find that we don't know are there yet. So.
That's great. That seems great for a family with kids. They can learn how to use the stuff and then take their own time, explore at their own pace.
It's a nice alternative to a guided tour where I lead a walk, because you can do it at your own pace. If your child gets bored 10 minutes in, then it's no issue. It doesn't cost anything. You know, you can just stop and turn the equipment back in and continue on through the park, you know, as you would. Or if you really love it, you can stay and explore for 2 hours straight. So.
Oh, that's great. So what other things do you have going on this month?
This month, our big fun program that we're doing is called Dogs for the Elizabeth, and it's actually an adoption day at the park with the Portsmouth Humane Society. Okay. So they're going to be bringing dogs to adopt out, and just if you want to play with a dog for a day, you can come and pet all of their dogs that are hoping to find their forever home. You can also bring your own pet. We'll have representatives from Duty Calls, our local poop scooping company, and also local pet shops out there. So kind of just an all-around fun day at the park for everybody.
So when is that?
That is August 16th from 1 to 3. It's a Saturday.
That sounds great. Are there other things going on besides those two events?
There are, yeah. We have Healthy River, Healthy You days out at the park. They are kind of days where we bring a lot of fun activities to do at the park, like hula hoops and balls and frisbees, and we'll have some scavenger hunts out there, so you can borrow all of our fun games, or you can take a scavenger hunt and kind of go and see what's in the park and see what you can find. And we are also teaming up with the Healthy Portsmouth and the Portsmouth Department of Health, so they're going to be doing some blood pressure checks and giving you some informational supplies to kind of like keep yourself fit and outdoors.
So is the park open every day of the week?
It's open every single day from dawn to dusk, yep, and there's no fee to enter into the park.
So it's free. Completely free. Are you finding, I know we just opened the park last summer, are you finding that people are still discovering it?
Yeah, definitely. People come and say, oh, I had no idea this exists, or oh, I just drove by. So we're still spreading the word, and we encourage everyone to help spread the word about the park and what we do out there.
Well, now, for those who are watching that maybe don't know where it is, tell us a little bit like where it's located, how big it is, and what makes it unique. What makes it different from like Portsmouth City Park or some of the other parks in the area?
It's a 40-acre park. We have over 2 miles of trails, and the greatest trail around the perimeter of the park is about 1 mile. So a lot of people like to go out there to do training runs because they can really easily gauge how far they're going. We are a dog-friendly park. We're handicap accessible. So that kind of separates us a little bit because we do allow bikes on our trails, we do allow dogs, we do allow joggers, but we're also a nature park. So we're not just a big open field. We have a restored wetland, we have 29 acres of forest. So you can get into the woods, you can kind of be one with nature, but also bring your dog and also have your kid on the bike right next to you.
And this is out in the Craddock area of Portsmouth?
This is across the street from the Craddock neighborhood off of Victory Boulevard. It's just to the left of the Jordan Bridge. So if you, well, I guess depending on what direction you're coming from, but yep.
And if you're in the Park Tours River, you actually get a great view of the Jordan Bridge and everything.
You can, yeah, you can get a great view of the Jordan Bridge. And like I said, we have a new 11-acre restored wetland put in by the Virginia Port Authority. Wow. So that is a really special treat where you can kind of just see the life coming back to the Elizabeth River, which is what the Elizabeth River Project's all about.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks for all the work you're doing there. And thanks for joining us and telling us about everything that's going on. So be sure to check out Paradise Creek Park this summer. This summer, live entertainment has returned to Portside. To find out what's on the calendar for August, I spoke recently to Valora Baskerville of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services. Valora, welcome back to Portsmouth Now.
Thank you.
You're becoming a regular here.
Yes.
It's all because of Portside.
Absolutely.
So what do we have coming up here at the month of August?
Oh my goodness, we have so many wonderful and different things here during the month of August. We're going to start the month of August out with Boot Scoot Boogie. So come on out with your cowboy hats. We're going to have the country band, the Heather Edwards Band, and we're going to do some country line dancing and just have a good time here at Portside. So that's something a little bit different. Like I said, come on out, wear your boots or your cowboy hat, your cowgirl hat, and we're going to have a great time.
Okay, it sounds fun.
Yes, and we're doing a couple of different things during the month of August. One Friday, and all of these are on Fridays. Friday, we're going to have a jokes and notes. So we'll have a comedian and the jazz saxophonist Stan Howard will be with us. So that's going to be different. They're going to be kind of going together on the stage and doing some fun stuff together. So that's a little bit different. Yes, it is different. And we also have, we're going to end up the month with Hot Cakes, a fun band, dance band that's been around for a while. So they'll be here.
Pancakes.
No. So that's going to be a fun thing. So we're just doing a lot of different things. We have the band Custom Made coming out during the month of August. And all of these Friday events are held right here at Portside from 6 to 9 p.m. Okay. We have food vendors out, fun family friend day. So just come on out.
Great way to end the work week.
Absolutely. Bring your friends out, bring your family out. We're going to have a great time. We're doing Sunday, so the third Sunday, so August the 17th, a Sunday, we start from 3 to 6. We'll have a gospel group on the stage. Go home if you want, change clothes, come on out. You don't have to get anything to eat. We have food vendors. So that's a nice, absolutely. So that's really nice. But on August the 2nd, which is a Saturday, something a little bit different, we have been asked to bring a group down from the Baltimore area. It's the U.S. Field Band.
Okay.
And it is a Army band with 102 members. Oh, a huge,
that is a big band. Can you fit them all here?
Absolutely. So they are going to come out. They're very excited. We're very excited to have them. And they're going to be here at 7 p.m. that night. Right here at Portside. Like I said, that's a Saturday, so that's a little bit different. But come on out, and we're asking all the military families to come on out and support them, and everyone to just come on out. We're going to have a great time here on the water. And also on Saturdays, we're going to be doing movies here at Portside.
Okay.
In the evening at 7 p.m. So that's going to be something a little bit different that we haven't been doing out here, even though all summer we've been doing movies at City Park on Sunday evenings. But we're going to be adding them in here at Portside also.
Okay, great. Now, people wanted more information. Is there a number they can call?
Yes, they can call Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services, 393-8481. And they can also go to the web, which is portsvaevents.com.
All right, so check out the web or give Parks and Rec a call and then come out to Portside and take in some of this great entertainment. Portside isn't the only place to find live entertainment. The summer concert series at the Entelos Pavilion continues with a concert by Emmy Award-winning Nickel Creek at 8 p.m. on Friday, August 15th. For info and tickets, log on to www.pavilionconcerts.com. When we come back to Portsmouth Now, we'll look at more events taking place this August. Stay tuned.
You must be your fairy godmother?
It doesn't take a fairy godmother to tell you that the right fit means everything. Especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose one that's the right fit for your child's age and size.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Remember, their happily ever afters are in your hands. To find out more, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Welcome back to Portsmouth Now and a look at events taking place this August. Throughout the month and into September, the Wonderful Wizard of Oz exhibit is on display at the Children's Museum of Virginia. This is a larger-than-life pop-up book exhibition based on L. Frank Baum's classic, first published in 1900. Besides the Scarecrow, Tin Woodman, and Cowardly Lion, you can visit Munchkinland, the Castle of the Wicked Witch, and the Emerald City. During the month of August, the museum will also offer special presentations of the play, The Patchwork Girl of Oz, produced by the Children's Theatre of Hampton Roads. For more information, call the Children's Museum at 757-393-5258. If you're an art lover, be sure to mark on your calendar the weekend before Labor Day, Saturday, August 23rd through Sunday, August 24th. Those are the dates of the 44th Annual Seawall Art Show. We're standing in front of the Riverview Gallery at the foot of High Street, and you find great art here all year round. But towards the end of August, a few feet away on the seawall Art Show takes place on the Art Up and Down. And I'm joined by Earlene Lampman. And what is your position exactly with the art show this year?
Well, I am the elected chairman of the Seawall Art Show Committee, and I'm artist liaison, so I work very directly with the artists.
And you're also one of the co-owners of the...
I am, yes.
So art is a big part of your life, I take it.
Art is a big part of my life.
Okay. Are you an artist yourself?
Well, I suppose you could say that I'm a fiber artist.
Okay.
Years ago, I did a lot of fiber creations. I even owned my own children's company, did the designs that went on the front of the clothes. So,
okay. But now, how long have you been involved with the Seawall Art Show?
For about 10 years. I came on as a committee member and did a lot of interacting with the artists, and that's how I got the job of artist liaison.
Okay. Now, the art show has been around for 45 years?
44. This
44
is our
years.
44th anniversary this
long
year.
time.
Yes, a very long time.
Has the show grown over the years?
Well, the show, of course, I wasn't around in the early years, so I really don't know the numbers. But I know that when this group of volunteers took it over in the early 2000s, there were only about 35 artists. So since we have probably a maximum of 90 now, it's grown quite a bit.
Quite a bit. So now, what are the times and dates?
Well, it is on Saturday and Sunday, the last full weekend of August before Labor Day, which is the 23rd and 24th. It is from 10 to 6 on Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday.
All right. So now, if people come out, what types of art will they see?
They're going to see a little bit of everything. We have jewelry of all kinds. We have wood, clay, glass, fiber, watercolor, oil, acrylic, pen and ink, just pastels, just about anything you can think of. We bill our show as a fine art and fine craft show, and that's always a little bit difficult to figure out what craft actually means. In other words, everything that you see at our show is handmade by the person in the booth. Okay. That's one of our rules. So even though you and I can go to a craft store and buy all kinds of beads and fittings and put them together, or buy all kinds of scrapbooking things and put those together, that's really not the level of artist that we accept in this show. And we've worked very hard to make sure that the jurying for our show is done properly and fairly.
So if I was crafting, going to a big national chain of crafts where I'm buying beautiful beads and making some beautiful decorative things, that would be a little bit different from the type of, say, person who is making beads in the art show.
Correct.
And what would that difference be?
Well,
they're not going to the chain store?
No, they're not going to the chain store, but the difference is that while you buy the beads, they make the beads. Okay. And that is the difference.
So there's a level of technical knowledge and craftsmanship.
Exactly. And they also create their own designs. They don't follow a design that they can pick up in that same store.
Okay, so that's the difference. So is the art for sale too?
The art is definitely for sale. And you know, the people who come to the show are going to see a lot of orange t-shirts.
With the logo on it.
Yes, these are our volunteer shirts. So if you have questions, you need to stop and ask them. We will also have a headquarters tent, which will be right over here under this tree, and you can stop and pick up a program so that you know where the artists are and meet the people on the committee. You may even want to come on the committee. You may even want to volunteer.
Okay, so what are the dates again for the Seawall Art Show?
The August the 23rd from 10 to 6. August the 24th from 10 to 5.
Okay, and besides the artists, is there any sort of entertainment, anything like that?
There will definitely be entertainment. If people will look on our website, they can see a list of artists. It'll be going up in late July, a list of artists and a list of the entertainers.
Great.
The entertainers will be right down there on the stage, and behind me, next to the Fresnel lens, there will be a student art show on that Saturday and activities for children. So we're trying really hard to involve everyone.
So even if someone isn't necessarily into the arts, it still would be a great afternoon.
Absolutely. There's going to be food. There'll be ice cream. There'll be hot dogs. There'll be popcorn. There'll be ice. There'll be all kinds of, snow cones, all kinds of things.
So lots of incentives to come out to the Seawall Art Show, and it's free.
It's free.
Well, thanks for coming here and telling us all about it.
Well, thank you. I really enjoyed it.
That's it for our show today. The events and activities that we featured on this episode are just a handful of the dozens of events taking place throughout the month of August all over Portsmouth. To find out more about any of them, simply log on to www.portsvaevents.com and then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next month for another episode of Portsmouth Now.